What happens when one of Hollywood's most respected actors walks onto a talk show expecting respect and walks out after the most shocking on-air meltdown you have ever seen? It only took one comment from Jennifer Hudson to turn a friendly interview into an absolute disaster that nobody saw coming. Samuel L. Jackson sat down in the guest chair, relaxed and ready to talk about his latest project. The audience clapped and cheered as he waved and smiled. He had done 1,000 interviews before. This was supposed to be easy. This was supposed to be fun. Jennifer Hudson welcomed him with a big smile, but something felt off from the very beginning. "So Samuel, thank you for being here," Jennifer said, leaning back in her chair like she owned not just the stage, but the entire building. "Happy to be here," Samuel replied, his voice warm and genuine. "I have to say, I was surprised you agreed to come on my show," Jennifer said with a little laugh that did not sound friendly at all. You are getting up there in age. Do you even know who watches daytime television anymore?" The audience went quiet. A few nervous laughs scattered through the crowd. Samuel's smile faded just a little bit, but he kept his cool. "Well, I think all kinds of people watch," Samuel said calmly. "Your show has a great audience." Sure, Jennifer waved her hand dismissively. "But let us be real. You've been doing this for what, like 40 years? 50? I lose count. Do not you get tired of playing the same angry guy in every movie?" Samuel shifted in his seat. His jaw tightened, but his voice stayed steady. "I think I bring something different to every role," he said. "Each character has their own story." "Oh, come on," Jennifer laughed, but it was not a real laugh. It was the kind of laugh that cuts. You yell, you say a few words I cannot repeat on television, and you collect a paycheck. I could do that. Anyone could do that. The audience was completely silent now. You could feel the tension in the air like a thick fog. Samuel looked at Jennifer with expression that said he could not believe what he was hearing. "Is that what you think acting is?" Samuel asked, his voice still controlled but with an edge to it now. "I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking," Jennifer said, shrugging like she had not just insulted one of the greatest actors of all time. How hard is it really? You just have to look tough and read some lines. "Jennifer, I've been doing this since before you were born," Samuel said, his voice getting firmer. "I have worked with the best directors in the world. I have put my heart into every single role. And yet, here you are on my show," Jennifer shot back with a smirk. "Funny how that works, is not it? The big movie star coming to my little daytime show? You must really need the publicity." Samuel took a deep breath. You could see him trying to stay professional, trying to remember that this was just a job, just another interview. But Jennifer was not done. "I heard your last movie did not do so well," she continued, examining her nails like she was bored. "What was it called again? I cannot even remember. That is probably not a good sign, right?" "The movie did fine," Samuel said, his voice tight. "Fine," Jennifer repeated, drawing out the word. "That is what people say when something fails. It is fine. It is okay. It is whatever. Come on, Samuel, you can be honest with me. Your career is not what it used to be, is it?" "My career is doing just great," Samuel said, and now there was real anger in his voice. Not the movie kind of anger, real anger. The kind that comes when someone disrespects everything you have worked for your entire life. "Is it though?" Jennifer leaned forward, her eyes narrow. "Because from where I am sitting, it looks like you are past your prime. Hollywood loves young faces now. Fresh talent. People like me who are relevant," the audience gasped. Some people started whispering to each other. This was going way too far, and everyone knew it. "You think you are relevant?" Samuel asked, his voice dropping low. "Dangerous. You think sitting in this chair and tearing people down makes you relevant?" "I think I have a successful show," Jennifer said defensively. "I think I have won awards. I think I have talent that goes beyond just yelling at people on screen." "Talent," Samuel repeated, shaking his head. "You want to talk about talent? Real talent is not about putting other people down to make yourself feel bigger. Real talent is respecting the craft and the people who paved the way for you to even have this opportunity." "Oh, please," Jennifer rolled her eyes. "Do not give me that pave the way speech. I worked hard for everything I have. I did not need anyone paving anything for me." "Clearly," Samuel said coldly, "because someone who understood respect would never treat a guest like this." "A guest?" Jennifer's voice went up high and sharp. "You are on my show. I ask the questions here. I decide how this goes. You do not like it? There is the door." She actually pointed at the exit. The audience could not believe it. Neither could Samuel. For a long moment, he just stared at her, and you could see him making a decision. You could see the exact moment when he decided he was done. "You know what, Jennifer?" Samuel said, standing up slowly. "You are absolutely right. There is the door, and I'm going to use it." "Sit down," Jennifer commanded, but her voice cracked just a little. She had not expected this. "We are not done here." "Oh, we are definitely done," Samuel said, pulling off his microphone. "I have been in this industry for decades. I have worked with legends. I have been on hundreds of shows, and never, not once, have I been treated with such blatant disrespect." "Disrespect?" Jennifer stood up too, her face flushing red. "I'm just being honest. I'm just asking real questions instead of kissing up to you like every other interviewer does." "There is a difference between asking tough questions and being cruel," Samuel said, his voice cutting through the studio like a knife. "There is a difference between being honest and being mean-spirited. You think this makes you look strong? You think this makes you look powerful? All this does is show everyone exactly who you really are." "And who am I?" Jennifer challenged, crossing her arms. "Someone who tears others down because you are insecure about your own place in this industry," Samuel said bluntly. "Someone who thinks being rude is the same thing as being interesting. Someone who clearly does not understand what it means to be a professional." The audience was frozen. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. The camera operators did not even know if they should keep filming. "Get out," Jennifer said, her voice shaking with rage. "Get out of my studio right now. I was already leaving," Samuel said calmly, straightening his jacket. "But let me tell you something before I go. This show, this attitude, it is not going to last. Because people see through this kind of behavior eventually. They see who has real class and who just pretends to have it." "I do not need a lecture from you," Jennifer snapped. "Clearly you do," Samuel replied. "But I am not going to waste my time giving it to you. You want to know why I came on your show? Because my publicist thought it would be good exposure. Because I try to support all talk shows, even the smaller ones. Because I believed in giving everyone a chance. But you just threw that chance away." "I threw it away?" Jennifer's voice went even higher. "You are the one walking out like a diva." "No," Samuel said firmly. "I am walking out like someone who knows their worth. There is a big difference. A diva makes everything about themselves. I am making this about principle, about respect, about not allowing someone to treat me like garbage on national television." "You are being so sensitive," Jennifer said, trying to laugh it off, but the laugh sounded fake and desperate. "It was just a joke. Can you not take a joke?" "A joke?" Samuel stopped at the edge of the stage and turned back to look at her. "You called my career a failure. You said anyone could do what I do. You mocked my age and my work. Where exactly was the punchline, Jennifer? Where was the part that was supposed to be funny?" Jennifer opened her mouth, but nothing came out. For the first time since the interview started, she had no comeback, no clever response, no insult ready to fire. "That is what I thought," Samuel said quietly. "You know, I've met a lot of people in this business. Some kind, some not so kind. Some talented, some just lucky. But you are in a category all by yourself, and not in a good way." "Fine, leave then," Jennifer said, but her voice was smaller now, weaker. "We do not need you anyway. We have plenty of other guests who would love to be here." "I am sure you do," Samuel said, "but I wonder how many of them will want to come back after they see how you treat people. Word gets around in Hollywood, Jennifer. People talk, and after today, they are going to have a lot to talk about." "Are you threatening me?" Jennifer asked, trying to sound tough again. "I am not threatening you," Samuel said calmly. "I am telling you a fact. This interview is going to get out there. People are going to see it. And they're going to make their own judgments about who behaved professionally and who did not." "I run a successful show," Jennifer insisted. But now she sounded like she was trying to convince herself more than anyone else. "You run a show," Samuel corrected. "Whether it stays successful after this, that is up to the people watching. That is up to the other celebrities you invite on here. That is up to everyone who sees this and decides if they want to support someone who acts like this." He started walking toward the exit again, his footsteps echoing in the silent studio. "Wait," Jennifer called out, and there was a note of panic in her voice now. "Samuel, wait. Maybe we can start over. Maybe we can just forget this whole thing happened and do the interview properly." Samuel stopped but did not turn around. "You had your chance to do the interview properly," he said over his shoulder. You chose to spend it insulting me instead. I do not give second chances to people who did not respect the first one. But the show, Jennifer said, and now she definitely sounded worried. We need to finish the show. We have commercial breaks to fill. We have segments planned. That sounds like your problem, not mine, Samuel said. You should have thought about that before you decided to attack your guest. I was not attacking you, Jennifer protested weakly. Yes, Samuel said, finally turning to face her one last time. You were, and you know it, and everyone watching knows it. The only person who seems confused about what just happened here is you. Please, Jennifer said, and the word came out desperate. Just sit back down. We can talk about your movie. We can talk about whatever you want. I will be nice, I promise. See, that is the problem right there, Samuel said, shaking his head. You think being nice is something you can just turn on and off like a switch? You think respect is something you give people only when it benefits you. That is not how it works. That is not how any of this works. I was just trying to make good television, Jennifer said, and now she was making excuses. You know how it is. Controversy gets views. Drama gets attention. I thought you would understand that. I understand that good television does not require cruelty, Samuel said. I understand that drama does not have to come at someone else's expense. I understand that real hosts know how to make their guests shine, not how to tear them down. I made a mistake, Jennifer admitted quietly. Yes, you did, Samuel. Agreed. A big one, and I hope you learn from it. I hope you think about this moment the next time you have a guest sitting in that chair. I hope you remember how it feels to watch someone walk away because you pushed them too far. I did not mean for it to go this far, Jennifer said. But it did, Samuel said simply. And now you have to live with that. Now you have to face whatever comes next, alone. With that, Samuel L. Jackson walked off the stage. The audience sat in shocked silence. Jennifer Hudson stood there, looking lost and small in the middle of her own show. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every second of her realization that she had made a terrible, terrible mistake. Cut to commercial. Jennifer finally said to her crew, her voice barely above a whisper, but the damage was already done. Samuel walked through the backstage area, past crew members who did not know what to say, past producers who were frantically trying to figure out how to salvage the rest of the set-eyes. The show. He kept walking until he reached his dressing room, grabbed his things, and headed straight for the exit. His security team was waiting by the car. They could tell something had happened just by looking at his face. Everything okay, Mr. Jackson? One of them asked. It is now, Samuel said, getting into the car. Let us get out of here. As they pulled away from the studio, Samuel looked back at the building one time. He thought about how the interview had started, how it had spiraled, how it had ended. He thought about all the things he could have said differently, all the ways he could have handled it better. But then he realized he had handled it exactly right. He had stood up for himself. He had refused to be disrespected. He had shown everyone watching that there are some lines you just do not cross, no matter who you are or what kind of show you host. Back in the studio, Jennifer was trying to regroup during the commercial break. Her producers were talking to her. Her makeup artist was touching up her face. Her assistant was bringing her water. But nothing could fix what had just happened. What do we do? One of the producers asked. Do we address it when we come back? Do we pretend it did not happen? Do we bring out the next guest early? I do not know, Jennifer said, and she really did not. For once in her life, she was completely out of her depth. Maybe you should apologize. Another producer suggested, when we come back from break, you could apologize to Samuel and to the audience. Apologize? Jennifer looked up sharply. For what? For asking questions? For doing my job? Jennifer, the producer said gently, that was not just asking questions. That was hostile. That was unprofessional. And Samuel L. Jackson is not some nobody. He is a legend. People love him. If this gets out the wrong way, it could be really bad for the show. If it gets out, Jennifer laughed bitterly. It is already out. There were cameras rolling. There were audience members recording on their phones. This is going to be everywhere by tonight. She was right. Even as they spoke, people in the audience were already texting their friends, posting on social media, sharing what they had just witnessed. The clips would be online within hours. The commentary would follow shortly after. Everyone would have an opinion about what happened. We need to control the narrative, another producer said. We need to get ahead of this. How? Jennifer asked. How do you get ahead of a celebrity walking off your show because you insulted them? Nobody had an answer for that. The stage manager called out, "We are back in 30 seconds." Jennifer took a deep breath and stood up. She walked back to her chair, the same chair where Samuel had been sitting just minutes ago. The audience looked at her with confused and disappointed faces. They had come to see a fun interview. They had gotten a train wreck instead. "Welcome back," Jennifer said, when the camera started rolling again, and her voice was shaky. "As you can see, Samuel is no longer with us. We had a difference of opinion about the direction of the interview, and he decided to leave. I want to apologize to anyone who was looking forward to hearing more from him." But the apology rang hollow. Everyone could see through it. Everyone knew what had really happened. And everyone was already making up their minds about who was right and who was wrong. Meanwhile, Samuel was already halfway home, his phone buzzing with messages from friends and colleagues who had heard what happened. Some were supportive, some were curious, some were angry on his behalf. But Samuel did not respond to any of them yet. He just looked out the window and let himself feel what he was feeling. Relief, anger, disappointment, vindication, all of it at once. He had walked away from interviews before, but never like this. Never on air, never so publicly. Part of him wondered if he should have stayed, if he should have tried harder to keep things professional. But the bigger part of him knew that sometimes you have to draw a line. Sometimes you have to say enough is enough. Back at the studio, Jennifer finished her show somehow. She brought out her other guests. She did her segments. She smiled for the cameras. But everyone could tell her heart was not in it anymore. The energy was gone. The confidence was shattered. When the show finally ended and the audience left, Jennifer sat alone on her stage. The lights were still bright overhead. The cameras were turned off. The crew was packing up, and she was left with the reality of what she had done. She had invited one of the most respected actors in Hollywood onto her show. She had insulted him repeatedly. She had pushed him until he walked out. And now she had to face the consequences of those choices. Her phone rang. It was her publicist. "Jennifer, we need to talk," the publicist said. And from the tone of voice, Jennifer knew this conversation was not going to be pleasant. "I know," Jennifer said quietly. Do you? Do you really? Because the clips are already viral." Samuel L. Jackson, trending worldwide. Your name is trending too, but not in a good way. People are furious. They are calling you disrespectful, unprofessional, cruel. We need to do damage control right now. "What do you want me to do?" Jennifer asked. "I want you to issue a real apology," the publicist said. "Not some half-hearted thing you said on air. A real, genuine apology that acknowledges you were wrong and takes full responsibility." Jennifer was quiet for a long moment. "What if I do not think I was wrong?" she finally said. The publicist sighed heavily on the other end of the line. "Then you are going to have a very difficult few weeks ahead of you," the publicist said, "because the court of public opinion has already made its decision, and right now, you are losing, badly." Jennifer hung up and sat in the silence of her empty studio. She thought about everything that had led to this moment: the pressure to make exciting television, the desire to stand out from other talk show hosts, the belief that controversy equals success. But none of that mattered now. None of that justified what she had done. She had let her ego get in the way of basic human decency. She had forgotten that the people who sit in that guest chair are not just celebrities or publicity opportunities. They are human beings who deserve respect. And Samuel L. Jackson had reminded her of that in the most public way possible. As Jennifer finally stood up and walked off her own stage, she knew that this moment would define her show going forward. People would remember this. They would remember how she treated a legend. They would remember what happened when someone finally stood up to her. And most importantly, they would remember that Samuel L. Jackson had the courage to walk away when he was not treated right. The story would spread. The think pieces would be written. The social media debates would rage on. But at the end of the day, the message was clear and simple. Respect matters. Kindness matters. And no amount of ratings or attention is worth losing your integrity.